The floods in Pakistan has been described as worse than the tsunami, the earthquake in 2005 and the Haiti earthquake all put together.
95% of the people are affected. The houses are destroyed totally.
It is overwhelming if you've never experienced like the flood before, and as far as I know, they never occurred like the flood like that before since 1906.
20 million people affected by the floods. Normally you'd see in other disasters 2 million, 3 million people affected.
Not just in one concentrated area, but scattered throughout the whole of Pakistan. It's hard to describe seeing what these people are going through just because they have nowhere to go.
हमारी तकरीबन 50 साल की उम्र है। हमारी ज़िंदगी में कभी ऐसा फ्लड नहीं आया। ये खुदा का अज़ाब था। ये सैलाब नहीं, पानी नहीं है।
Then we will go there.
This is Mohammed. He lives in the Punjab region of Pakistan, an area badly hit by the floods. Here he shows us some of the damage done to his local area.
These all dirty comes with water. बहाव कितना होने जो गंद अगो है वो चाहती है सर ऊपर इतना आगे रोक गए इन वास्ते गंद अगो नहीं वहीं पर This is the houses of people. This is the central point of the city.
There was a train station over there?
Yeah, train station.
Before there was a dry and a good area, and it called. And now there is a water in all the places. In the city, it is a city side. The city and now the countryside. The water came here and flooded over the city.
उसके साथ साथ हमारे घर के जो भी सामान था वो भी सैलाब में जो है ना बह गया है वो सैलाब जो है ना उसके गिर गया है साथ भी
Cameron Fasil runs the international development for the charity Islamic Help. The organisation's been on the ground providing aid and hygiene facilities to the people who've been affected in the floods.
The floods affected the country in August, and although the fatality has been around 1,500 people have been killed, but over 20 million people have been affected. So it started up in the north, slowly wiping away millions of people's homes, their livestock, food, everything has just totally been devastated.
This is Atiq. He's from a small town in the Punjab province. He shows us around his home, which he says was completely ruined during the devastating floods.
First of all, the flood came in the countryside, and when we have informed that the flood can be come into the city, so you have to leave the city. But we didn't bring any luggage, and just we saved the life. There are the 5 brothers and 4 sisters, and the 3 brothers are married, and their children are also living there. My mother and my father also living there. And we came here and to see is our house is right or not. When we see that side, that situation, we all were worried that what's happened here. We didn't accept that the flood destroyed our houses. So I see my house, and and my family was weeping. What's happened? Because we have nothing, a source of income. Now what will we do? Where we have to live?
The entire country is in trouble because of the flood. So it's not only the flooded area, but also the area which were dry and not flooded, but they facing right now all the people which came from flooded area for the camps.
There are so many people when you go, like, you know, along the road, and so many camps. People are actually, like, you know, sleeping under the trees with, like, literally on the grass.
With the number of Pakistanis losing everything in the floods, people have been looking anywhere for shelter. This group of desperate families even moved into a local school to escape the elements.
जिस वेले सलाब आया है तुसां की कीता उस वेले
उतां असां बैठे आते उतां जले पानी आया होने लग गया असां बोला सामान पहलो काट के थे क्या कड्डे कपड़े चादर खरड़े हों कड्डे से के हों पानी खरड़े काल का कहना हों कड्डन हों चादर
ठीक
पहले जो कपड़े शपड़े बाहर चाले बस उठा गए
मेरा फिर जन्ना न सिला पाए सारे आटे चूंडी ते
किताओ कान के ना सौदे
कैसे तुसां को पैसे हैं
सारे ये नहीं कहे के बैठे
पैसे कितों आने
एक खड़े भी ऊपर छुगर खड़े सारे पांच बार
ओए सारे बच्चे तुसां देने हैं
हां मेरे उन्ने दे मेरे जीवन पांच जन एक पूरे बड़ा सारा मेरे माम के होंदे
पांच बच्चे तुसां दे
सारे दा मसला है पंगे सही है ये टुरदे फिरदे रह गए
With other type of natural disasters like a hurricane, an earthquake, you know, it comes in, it does its damage, and it's done in a couple of minutes. Now, although the damage is huge, it allows people to get in on the ground and help alleviate some of the problems, or majority of problems people are facing. But here in Pakistan, that's not the case. It's taken weeks, months of this flood to just slowly come in, cause damage, and just take away everything.
This building is just one of many hospitals destroyed by the floods.
So all this medicine's been destroyed then?
Yeah. Dr. Balut showed us the damage caused to his hospital, which is now no longer functioning.
What room is this?
Yes, liver room.
Delivery room?
Liver room.
Right. So this is for delivering babies then?
To dispense medicine, this is our small store. We make this photograph also, inside also, you come.
Where did the water come up to?
Yes, you are seeing water level. This. Everything is destroyed. Within 2 months or 3 months should be. And we will be established in it properly in the 1 year.
The floods haven't receded yet. The floods are still up there. They're still at a high level. So up until the floods go totally and are washed away into the sea, we will not know totally what the entire destruction cost is and what needs to be done.
The response from the international community has been much more muted. I think it's getting better, but it's nothing like what I remember from the 2005 earthquake, and so we're really looking forward to getting any and all the help that we can get.
So when you hear about the floods, you hear about the initial death toll, which is lower. It's 1,500, 1,600 people, but the fact that 20 million are displaced is just is something that people don't grasp.
I don't think it would be a wrong statement for me to say that the overall response from the international community has been generally slow.
I think there's several reasons. There's a global financial crisis. There's also what I believe donor fatigue. There's just been an earthquake in Haiti just a few months ago. And then I think there are problems internal to Pakistan. There's a lack of trust in the government process.
But the response from Islamic help donors or from individual people has been phenomenal.
As soon as we found out the scale of the disaster. We moved in and we started our operation. And it's not just limited to Sindh, it's in Punjab, Multan, and all over, wherever we can stretch our sources.
So it's a lot of problems. They have to be solved. In the long run, short run, there will be. Take some time.
Islamic Health has set up 2 main health units, one in Punjab and one in Sindh. The hospital units that we have are inflatable hospitals, which means they can be put down, put up within an hour, and we can move them to any area. So we're virtually very mobile, very rapid, very quick. We can get to any area of need.
A hospital like this, it's easily transportable to the location. We can put it up for additional shelter, and they allow us to come in and provide additional treatment when the hospitals are overwhelmed.
Islamic Health are providing the medicines also, and they are giving their ward and hospitals, this portable and everything, air-conditioned hospitals.
In an effort to deal with the high volume of people seeking medical care, Islamic Help have set up numerous mobile hospitals across the country.
Now, both of these health units have 2 separate functions. The one in Punjab is an outpatients unit where patients would come in severely dehydrated, who have diarrhea, and just needed basic treatment. So there we were treating over 1,000 patients a day. The local hospital had been totally flooded, so we were able to use the support of the doctors and the staff who were based at that hospital, who had nowhere else to work. So they chipped into our facility, and we were able to treat so many. And I think I would say, without exaggeration, I could say many of these patients would have died had they not come and had the simple but basic treatment. And all it was just a case of them being rehydrated.
This is a case of gastroenteritis, and now I asked him, this guy, and he says that they use the contaminated water because this is the only source of the water they have there. Such cases will keep pouring in, and we don't have enough resources to continue it indefinitely. And getting water from here, it is difficult for them. We need more portable or fixed water filtration units over here so that more people can be provided with clean water so that we can prevent these waterborne diseases in the first place.
Aid workers say the biggest problems the Pakistanis face is the lack of clean drinking water. Cameron showed us the state of the water supplies that the locals have been forced to drink from.
Water, 3 hours I think, 3 hours a day, and that's it. So it's just contained here, and this is the water that the locals use. They come here, they fill from out there. They've been told by the local authorities not to use that water, but people have no choice. So you can see it from here, it goes up there, and it's just then distributed to all the houses. But it's clearly the water's not really filthy. Also, side by side with our health work, we have our water, sanitation and hygiene interventions. It's important that you have clean water. Okay, we have a number of purification units, both static and mobile, which we can take to other places. So in Punjab, we have been producing over 150,000 litres of water every single day.
Yeah, the young water purification unit that we brought, you can see the box, one of the boxes, there's 2 boxes like that. Maximum capacity of that unit is 100 liter clean drinking water per minute. So it can provide about 35,000 people a day, which, United Nations ratio is about 2.5 liters a day for a person, yeah? So the water can be very clean. I'm always the first to try the water when we set up the water system somewhere in the area. And now actually with that unit, it's working next to the hospital, it's providing the water for the hospital, for the people around the area.
The plan is like, still sort of going on, because even though we have the field hospital running, as you can see, the tanks at the back, they have clean water, but this is not the only area which needs water right now.
Mostly work on install the Nomad and also the small units. It's called the Tracker. We can provide about 2,000 people a day with the clean drinking water.
So what we're going to do is we're going to send out people on the Tracker units, which are portable water purification machines, and go around the area and see other vulnerable people, and sort of give water to them.
Right now we are in Kotadou city, in the mosque. We're gonna set up the unit for about 2,000-3,000 people in the surrounding areas. The good thing about this one is about 10-15 minutes it takes to just set up the unit and to make it work. So everyone can just get a clean drinking water in 10-15 minutes. It's going to be run by the local people, which we trained. The unit is going to stay here, so they're going to take care of it. They're going to provide their own people with the clean drinking water. That's the most also very important things. They're going to help themselves. So it's going to run for every day.
Okay.
Get clear, pure drinking water. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So they're going to be okay. And all your people are going to get the clean drinking water. Good?
Yeah.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.
Yeah. It's the Kotadou city. We set up the unit here 2 days ago on a hospital site for the sick kids. It's a very well-known hospital. They actually right now, today we're checking on them and they're doing a pretty good job. We delivered 6,000 sachets with the oral rehydration solution, and they're going to distribute to the patients, which is very important right now because the waterborne diseases and dehydration is the main problem right now in this area.
We have distribution trucks in which they fill out the tanks and they just travel from village to village, city to city, just distributing free water to everybody. We have distribution points where people can come in with their canisters, with their jerry cans, and fill out water to their heart's content, take it home. One of the problems we're finding is that when people do come to collect water, they either have no utensils or buckets or jerry cans in which to take water in because they've lost everything. So our solution to that was to distribute as many jerry cans as possible, and our water delivery is more frequent. The key point to health is if you provide good, clean, safe drinking water, it's the solution to many of the problems, especially health related. So the water aspect is the most important, the key, crucial thing.
Well, the direct impact of the flood at this point in time is this massive displacement of populations. And as we know, when people move, the first thing they have to start worrying about is their food, their water, where they're going to go to the toilet, and where they're going to stay under a roof. They try to figure out what they can, but often the quality of the water that they're drinking, the quality of the food that they're eating, and the availability of latrines is so limited that they quickly get into a vicious cycle of being exposed to very common but very serious and deadly waterborne diseases, so diarrheas and our great fear, cholera.
Earlier this year, Pakistan was hit by the worst floods in 100 years. Various charities, including Islamic Help, travelled to the country to ease some of the suffering, like that of these refugees.
There are about 300 people in this camp, and mostly the children. And are staying here since last 15 and 20 days without food and water. That the children have diarrhea, and they are facing other problems like shortage of food. though they are getting the water through tankers, but it comes only once daily. They are not sure about their future, whether how long will it take for them, or how long they're gonna stay here, whether it's 1 month or 2 months.
वापसी दा अजे किसी जगह तो पानी सुकण दिया, किसी जगह अजे 1.5-2 फुट पानी अजे तकरीबन 10-12 दिन जाने।
Well, today our purpose was to ask the people about their problems, because the area and the people who suffered this devastation is huge.
ते खुराक किस तरह पूरी कर दे? बस अल्लाह पाक ऐसी होने क्या करो।
At the moment, we're not in a position to cover the whole, but what we are trying to do is to do the best we can do within our resources. Inshallah, we'll go back now and we'll provide them with the jerry cans so that they can store the water and can keep clean drinking water. You see that these people are stranded here and they have no one to take care. Well, the very first thing is that we are here to help them. So that's the very first thing.
This disaster is on a massive scale all over the country, and to organize something, it becomes a perpetual vein, because you can't just stay to one place. You have to keep on moving, because people everywhere in Pakistan are affected.
So we not only working in the flood area, we're also working in the town. Right now we're in the Sukkur, in the Sindh province. It wasn't affected by the flood, but it's facing the problem with the refugees from the area which were flooded. So that's a very big problem, providing them with a clean drinking water.
Yeah, okay, I think so. Let's put the aqua tabs in it and then put the chlorinated water in it. I mean, it's going to be a lot better than using that.
Oh yeah, definitely. We get this twice a day, clean water.
Yeah.
So I think the local people here in the hospital should be sorted.
The operation that we've been running is mainly, first on the water side of things, was to provide clean water for the locals. So that involved getting a shipment of water in and purifying it and allowing the locals to use it and dispense as needs be.
At the moment, what we're doing is trying to clear the area so we can set up the purification units here and clean the water for people. So what's going to happen is twice a day, 10,000 litres of water is going to come. So we're going to purify that, give people jerry cans and tell them to take home.
Right now what we're doing is we're dissolving some aqua tabs into this bucket of water. We're then going to take them over to the large blue containers behind us here and use this water to pour into those containers. When we add the additional water from this tanker, that will clean the containers.
Providing clean drinking water is one of the most important elements of work in a disaster zone. However, handing out limited supplies to large groups of people can provide its own problems.
It has been troublesome. Basically, as soon as the locals have found out that there's water here, they've started queuing for water. But the problem we're getting is locals from the hospital who are queuing up saying, prioritize us because we're from the hospital. But the thing is, if we start prioritizing people from the hospital, a lot of these people will be frustrated and there'll be a big argument. So what I'm telling people to do is make one line and wait patiently, because water's coming. And people don't realize that this water's going to be here every day. People are thinking this is just an emergency supply and there'll be no water after this. So people are doing anything to get water here. They are desperate. They've been telling me they've been drinking dirty water and they're saying, can we have water? We're from this village, you should prioritize us. We've got a team here working as hard as we can trying to get water to these people who've been waiting for ages. I felt really bad. But in a situation like this, somebody you've met 2 days ago, and you feel for them because they stand in front of you and say, look, my son's in hospital, I've fled from home, I don't have anything, so can you help me out? At the end of the day, you know that they're going to get water or they're going to get what they need. So it works eventually.
Heat is another problem. myself, my staff, others, I see them running around, looking for water bottles. 2 of our staff guys collapsed doing work. Only God knows what the local people and the flood affected people are going through, because they have no shelter, they have no water, they have nowhere to shade themselves from the sun, and it's over 50 degrees here, and the heat is absolutely ruthless. It will dehydrate people in minutes. And of course it's Ramadan, so people are struggling to fast, yet because of their religious commitments people are insisting. Lack of food.
सब तो बड़ा मसला है कि साढ़ा खान पीने के मकसद कोई नहीं साधु सामान कोई नहीं सल्फ कोई नहीं सारी
During the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, Muslims are required to fast from sunrise until sunset. But with the sweltering heat, lack of food and clean drinking water, the obligation to fast has compounded the problems faced by many aid workers.
Islamic Help is providing food to thousands of families in Punjab. We have a number of areas where we're providing cooked food, packed, and at certain distribution points we're just giving everyone food to be able to feed themselves. One of the key problems faced here is because everything was washed away, they do not have the means and facilities to be able to cook the food. The Islamic Help team is purchasing all the ingredients, is cooking the food themselves. We have our own cooks, our own distribution, transport, logistics, everything in place, and we just get it out to people.
While many hospitals in the country were destroyed, the remaining are having to deal with a large influx of patients. They're usually under-resourced, and the conditions can often make things worse.
वो पानी नहीं है, सही पानी नहीं है, वो पानी सैलाब का आ गया, ये पता नहीं पीने की वजह से इसको दर्द पड़ गया, ये ले आओ सिविल में, फिर इधर ले आए, इधर इसका ऑपरेशन किया, ये हफ्ता हो गया है।
हफ्ता हो गया। अच्छा, आपने किस चीज़ के लिए आपको इधर लाया था?
पानी गंदा पिया था ना, पेट खराब हो गया था, उल्टियाँ भी और मोशन भी और ब्लड भी निकल रहा था।
The poor conditions of the hospital can often cause more problems for the locals.
This area right here is where all the locals dump their rubbish, and the hospital which is just over there, they dump a lot of their rubbish here as well, which includes little glass bottles, syringes, bandages. A lot of stuff that they've used on patients here is out here in the open, and as you can see, these kids are walking around with bare feet.
इधर देखो कितना कचरा है, कितनी गंदगी है, जगह जगह जरासीम जानवर मरे होते हैं, जो भी कचरा होता है हॉस्पिटल का गंदा सब इधर डाला जाता है। ठीक है, इधर हम लोगों के घर हैं, छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, किसी को जरासीम किसी को सिरिंज लग जाती है तो उससे किसी को डायरिया हो जाता है, किसी को पीलिया हो जाता है, और क्या नाम है, इतनी गंदी टीबी हो जाती है, गंदी बीमारी। इधर जवान मौतें हुई हैं, हम इंसान नहीं है। ये गटर देखो, ये गटर भर जाते हैं, हमारे घर गंदगी से भर जाते हैं।
So it's really dangerous for the kids out here to be walking on the rubbish, as it's claimed so many young lives, and it's making life really difficult for them.
Islamic Help is always keen on partnership work. It's always a good idea to get the best experts, the best facilities, the best organisation, and share your resources. And that way you find you'll get the best solutions. And we're happy to say that we teamed up with the Indus Hospital and also endorsed and supported by the World Health Organization to set up one of the model diarrhea treatment centers in the area.
Given the conditions that most of these millions, and remember this is millions of people, that these millions of people are living under, we have a real challenge with waterborne diseases, and in particular with cholera.
A cholera outbreak has been declared in the country, and Islamic Help are one of the few organizations who have a specialist CTC or a cholera treatment center up and running. We have everything we need to make sure we can treat cholera.
We just started last night this hospital, and we've seen our first suspected cholera case, which essentially is, I think that's that says a lot about what we're looking at.
This is 2-year-old Awas Ahmed. He has been infected with cholera.
बच्चे ठीक हो जाएंगे तो हम खुशी हैं ना बच्चे तो ठीक हो जाएंगे
Basically, it's quite a severe form of cholera. The mother has been forced to feed her child unclean water. What the doctors have done is they've inserted IV solutions on in the vein of the baby. What they've also done is they've inserted a tube from its rectum to a bag to collect the stool. Without the treatment and without the health care of the paramedics, the doctors and the nurses to monitor the patients, then the chances of survival for this baby would be low.
It's very, very important that the whole disease itself is contained. The spread of cholera is so quick and the consequences of cholera are potentially lethal. I've seen patients who come in with severe diarrhea, severe vomiting, severely dehydrated, and this will normally kill them. It may sound like, it's diarrhea, it can be treated. The difference is it's highly contagious and it will kill you. It will dry your whole body up within 2 days.
I think this treatment center the diarrhea treatment center being set up is really important because, it's critical in the management of cholera outbreaks to get these patients in isolation, to manage them properly, maintain infection control. And I think they've been doing it in a very sort of committed way. They have their staff on the ground, they're really engaging with the population, and I think it's really been, it's been great working with them.
We have all the infection control procedures, we have all the treatment, we have everything we need to make sure we can treat cholera.
So these diseases are deadly, but they can also be treated very easily most of the time. For more severely dehydrated patients, those perhaps that might have cholera, we then of course have to hydrate them using intravenous fluids and then provide a lot more care for them. But given that care, all patients with severe dehydration, all patients with cholera ought to be able to be managed in a hospital just like this. And that's our hope, that in this setting we will be able to treat as many of those seriously ill patients that have diarrhea or cholera as best as we can.
Now, the solutions are very simple. Water, clean water. You control your supply of clean water, you prevent cholera.
The next day at the water distribution point, things are running a lot smoother.
Okay, this morning we got the tanks back up on a steady base, so the taps were fine. But because of when the tank was raised yesterday, it caused extra leaks, and when we were filling up this big tank right here, we discovered that there's a leak in there, so sorted now. Just gonna tighten the tap, get the water back in there, and purify as we go along into the bladder, and hopefully distribute later. Everybody's pulling together, it's a team effort, and we're ready to go soon, hopefully.
Women and children here, men.
Good news is that tanks were here earlier, they filled them up with water. They've been aqua-tapped, they're being cleaned at the moment, so what we're doing is distributing water to the locals. There's 2 tanks full. Yesterday there was a quarter tank just to give out. It's working much better, the people seem much calmer. Slowly but surely they're all getting water. We've managed to sort a lot of issues out, and the water is now, it's being purified, and locals are getting clean water rather than drinking from the dirty water source.
A lot of friends and colleagues of mine all around the world have asked what Pakistan needs at this point in time. So of course there are funds, but I have this firm belief that what we really need on the ground are people that are committed to providing quality care, preventive medicine, people that will take care of patients in whatever capacity they can, as nurses, as paramedics, as doctors.
It needs, obviously the first phase has gone, the response, like emergency response. Now infrastructure, like reconstruction of houses and buildings and all the infrastructure, roads, communications, electricity, that has just gone down, so everyone has to work together.
This country needs, I think, more like tools for the people already here to build the country again from the rubble. This country is totally destroyed, I would say.
And I think what Pakistan needs now is everybody's support. And I know everybody's like back home in Britain have been fundraising, but I think right now people need to realize that because it's a flood, the aftermath is going to be more severe because of fact like waterborne diseases, and it's just going to carry on. The suffering will carry on.
20 million people in a country are affected by a natural disaster. It's something that's not going to end in a day or a month or even a year.
Either as a reconstruction, either like because of the flood, because of the government, because of the politics. Those people need the tools. They don't need the money, to give them food, to give them water. They need it now. But in the long run, they need the tools to build everything for themselves, so they know that they're helping each other.
There are people there who are willing to give their money so we can help them out.
And they're reliant on literally people like us, whether we're rich, poor, students or not. There's a lot of things that we can do, whether it's like raising money to come and volunteer or just raise money to like donate a water purification unit. Anything, literally anything contributes to saving lives.
I want people to understand, people that are donating to organizations like Islamic Help, that every penny that you give is incredibly helpful, because first of all, that penny translates into many rupees here on the ground, and that often it is the impetus for us to start something.
हम इनके शुक्रगुजार हैं कि ये इन्होंने इस्लामिक हेल्प के तहत यहाँ ये काम किया है, फ्लड रिलीफ कैंप किया है, साफ पानी मिल रहा है, मेडिकल मिल रहा है, खाना फराहम हो रहा है, ये अच्छा इक़दाम है.
And everybody's donated so far. Thank you very much. Your money is going to good cause, and it's helping these people, and you're saving thousands of lives.
There's a lot of problems to face, but that's actually what makes you get going. So you want that problems to get solved.
For Pakistan's poor and hungry flood survivors, this year's Muslim celebration of Eid al-Adha offers little joy. This village is surrounded by water. Despite this, Islamic Help try to retain the spirit of the holy festival. These locals are determined to receive their Eid gifts. Help in a disaster zone can come slowly and only where possible, even at the best of times. Indeed, these floods have provided challenges for the people of Pakistan and for the relief and aid workers trying to help. And with such a large-scale problem, it's clear that a lot more work lies ahead.
We need to now ensure that whatever work we do has to be sustainable. We have to ensure that we get the Pakistani people back on their feet. We have to contribute towards their livelihoods. We need to support people with their livestock in shelter so they're able to go back to their living conditions. But I think it will be a long time before that happens. Having seen the locals and the flood-affected victims, seeing the struggles they're going through, seeing the tough time they're going through, seeing their children crying, suffering, struggling. We have it easy. We can go home at the end of this. We come here, we try to do our best, we do our interventions, we go home at the end of the day. You know, these people have nowhere to go. But I can guarantee you that as long as we have the power, Islamic Help will be here to stay. Yeah, we will help continue rebuilding their lives. We will help continue rehabilitating them into their normal day-to-day lifestyle. And I can guarantee you we will not leave the people of Pakistan on their own. We will be here with them every step of the way.